Hi, this is Keith Weaver with the Top Executive Strategy Podcast, where CEOs, COOs, and business owners share strategies for success. This is 6 questions in 9 minutes because the best strategies are concise business advice. And with the idea of being concise, we're going to jump right in with our first question. In a few sentences, tell us who you are and what you do.
All right. Thanks, Keith. I'm Joe Tomco. I am the co-founder and president of Immersion, and we provide automated language testing solutions. What's unique about us is it's fully AI automated testing for speaking and listening, which allows you to essentially have a conversation with the computer, and we can tell you exactly how fluent you are, whether it's in English or in a foreign language. We have several different patents. My co-founder, Dr. Jacob Burtis, is really a global expert on automating language testing. So we really do have some groundbreaking technology.
That's really cool. So question number 2, what's the best thing about being a business leader?
Great question. I would say, there's several things. I think one of the best things for me is being able to have some control over who you work with and what you work on. You know, it's all about meaningful work, right? We're spending 30, 40 years in our careers and we want to do something that's meaningful, right? And for me, that's two pieces to that. As I mentioned, it's working with great people. The other piece is getting to work on projects or a mission that's meaningful. And I get to do that at Immersion. We're closing the global communication gap. We get to work with people all over the world on every continent, and really every day presents something new for me in the business.
All right, question number 3. I hear from other leaders that their people strategy in their business can often be more difficult than the actual business strategy for their business. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, unless you're running a business that's completely dependent on robots, I would say that is the case, right? In our business, we're dealing with high-level individuals that are very capable, and for us to reach any of our strategies, and certainly to reach all of them, we need to depend on our people in being as productive as they possibly can, right? And it doesn't just mean working harder, but working smarter. It may mean providing training and development. It means providing them a career path, right? Because we want our people to grow and develop here and to be able to stay long-term. So I definitely agree with that, just in that we can't accomplish any of our goals without the people, who are pushing those strategies forward.
So question number 4, what strategy would you like to share with other business leaders?
Yeah, so I would like to share something we call intentional culture and being intentional about that culture. I think this ties in perfectly to your last question. There was a famous quote from when I got my MBA that would always be used, is that culture eats strategy for breakfast, was the quote, right? And I don't know exactly where it comes from, but basically what that means is if you don't have a strong culture, as I mentioned, there's no way you're going to be able to reach your strategic goals if you don't first take care of that people element. You need to keep people motivated. You need to keep them, as I mentioned, getting the right people on the bus. So part of that is hiring right? Hiring people who meet your strategy and your culture, and then training them so that they can continue to fit within that culture as you grow. So for us, intentional culture, why that's so important, it's important for every company, but especially for a startup where you are growing and moving 100 miles per hour. You want to make sure that all of your employees can stay on board. Over the last 3 years, we've gone from 3 employees, to about 15 employees to now going close to 50, and we'll likely go from 50 to 100 employees over the next year. We've also gone from one small office with 3 of us sitting back to back, right, where we could just chat about everything, to where we're now spread across 4 different states, 3 different countries we have employees in, and over many different offices. And even within the office, right, as soon as you get to the point where you have multiple departments, we're on 3 different floors within a building. All of those things make culture more difficult. right? You're not in one room anymore. You're getting spread out. You're getting departmentalized. And so the culture, it's not that the culture itself changes, but the way we implement that and the way we make sure that it stays top of mind has had to change over time. As I mentioned, we can no longer just expect that everyone will hear our strategy and feel the culture from the founders, because we're not physically in the same room as our employees every day. And so there's several things we've needed to do to really improve that. Part of that is documenting our process and making it very clear from the hiring process. Before we even hire anyone, we go through our culture guide with them and go through our core values with them, every single one, line by line. And we tell them at the end, hey, we hope this is something that fits with what you would like to do. If it doesn't, it may not be the right place for you. But culture is very important to us, making sure that it's inclusive, that we have a friendly culture, but we're also very competitive and we want to perform and succeed. As the organization grows, there need to be regular reminders of that. One thing that we've implemented that has been huge in keeping our culture intentional is that each of these core values that we have as a company, we have daily reminders on all of them. And we've implemented what we call our Merit Bucks program tied to these core values. So any employee in the company, from a new intern all the way up to the CEO, can give out public peer recognition when they see someone in the company living these values. So these are our 4 core values of being a team player, being an entrepreneur, we call it solutioneer, finding and solving difficult problems, and being an entrepreneur. It doesn't mean every employee starts a business, but we want them to have that entrepreneurial spirit. Each one of those core values is visited on a daily and weekly and monthly basis through our Merit Bucks program. And we're able to not only give public recognition for that, but also kind of certificates. And through our Slack channel, everyone in the company can see when someone is caught embodying one of these core values for us.
Question number 5. What other successful business owners, CEOs like yourself would you like to acknowledge here you think would be good on the podcast?
Yeah, I mean, it's always easy to look within your co-founders. Certainly my co-founders are incredible. Dr. Jacob Burtis, who's our Chief Strategy Officer and Chief Product Officer, and Brigham Tomco, who's my brother and co-founder and CEO, are both incredible. But even outside of that, there are a lot of great entrepreneurs out there that I really respect and think are doing amazing things. One of them is Zach Oates and Spencer Barron. They're 2 of my friends from the MBA program that are out doing great things in the local economy here.
One final question, just a fun question. Tell me about your favorite past boss.
Tony Morrison, he's the CEO of Codev, a company that Brigham founded and that I helped run operations for several years. But he's an amazing leader. We have about 300 software developers in the Philippines through that company, and he's been running that business for almost 10 years now, and is a great leader. He does a great job. We talked about the importance of scalability in terms of process and scalability of people and scalability of systems. He does a great job building systems and process to build a scalable business. So. But he was a great boss to work for, and we had a great success together.
It's been great having you on. Real quick, tell people how they can find you or get a hold of you.
Sure. So you can find more information about our company at emmersion.ai. It's EMMERSION. And then you can look me up on LinkedIn as well. I'm active on LinkedIn. So Joe Tomco, or joe.tomco@emmersion.ai is my email if anyone has any questions or would like to reach out.
Great. All right. Well, this is Keith Weaver, and this is another episode of Top Executive Strategy Podcast. And for more insights and to follow us, you can follow us at Weaver Business Coaching on LinkedIn or on your favorite podcast platform. And we wish you the best success.